The morning calm shattered with a deafening crash outside my front door, followed by the shrill squeal of tires tearing down the street. My coffee mug slipped from my hand, splashing dark liquid across the floor as I bolted to the porch. I knew what I'd find before I even stepped outside. My mailbox, once a proud red sentinel, lay in ruins, splintered wood and twisted metal sprawled across my crushed marigolds like a murder scene. In the distance, a white SUV roared away, kicking up dust like a bandit's getaway car. Behind the wheel, I glimpsed Laura, her face contorted with glee, eyes narrowed in delight. Beside her, her twin sister, Megan, held up her phone, filming the chaos like it was some twisted social media stunt. This was the third time in 2 months. My fists clenched as I stood on the edge of my lawn, staring down the empty road. The war had begun, and I was done playing nice. 6 months ago, Laura and Megan stormed into the neighborhood like a pair of loud, floral-clad tornadoes. Both in their early 40s, they were impossible to miss, identical in every infuriating way. Heavy-set, always sweating, they wheezed with every step but made up for it with voices that could crack glass. Their matching sundresses, drenched in cherry-sweet perfume, announced their presence before they opened their mouths. Their pride and joy was a monstrous white Escalade they called the Empress, a lifted beast they drove like a battering ram. My mailbox was their favorite target. The first hit, they claimed, was an accidental glancing blow that cracked the post. I let it slide, rebuilding it quietly. Everyone gets one mistake. The second time was no mistake. They plowed through it, laughing as they sped off. When I confronted Megan later, she smirked, sipping a soda. "Maybe don't put it so close to the street," she said, as if I'd parked it in her driveway. "That's where mailboxes go," I shot back, biting back sarcasm. "Well, maybe if it wasn't so ugly, we'd see it better," she chirped, shrugging. It wasn't just my mailbox. They blocked driveways, blasted music until dawn, and turned every minor inconvenience into a neighborhood soap opera. They reported my elderly neighbor to the HOA for asking them to lower their speakers, claiming he threatened them. The HOA, spineless as ever, promised to look into my complaints but did nothing. The police called it a civil matter, unless I had proof of intent. So, I installed a motion-activated camera, wide-angle, expensive. 2 weeks later, at 7:13 a.m., I watched live on my phone as Laura lined up the Empress from half a block away, gunned the engine, and smashed my mailbox into oblivion. Splinters flew like shrapnel. Megan howled with laughter, spilling her iced latte. The footage was crystal clear, but the HOA still dodged, mumbling about neighborly resolutions. The police? Could be an accident, they said, despite the cackling on video. I confronted them the next day as they unloaded groceries bags stuffed with frozen pizzas and candy. Laura, in a garish purple dress with yellow lilies, barely glanced at the video still I held up. "Photoshop," she scoffed. "It's a video," I said, jaw tight. "Deep fake?" Megan chimed in, not looking up from her phone. "You're harassing us," Laura added, stepping closer, her breath reeking of cheese puffs. "You're targeting my property," I said. "Your mailbox is too close to the street," she snapped. "It's where the city put it," I countered. "Then the city's stupid," Megan muttered. "Or you're scamming us for insurance." I stared, dumbfounded. I hadn't asked for a cent. Their smugness was a fortress, impenetrable by reason. That night, in my garage, surrounded by the wreckage of my mailbox, I was done. No more anger, just cold, tired resolve. The streetlights cast a sickly glow across my driveway as crickets chirped. I opened my laptop and searched indestructible mailbox. The internet delivered. Steel posts, concrete cores, mailboxes built like tanks. Rural folks had been fighting vandals for years, and their forums were a goldmine of revenge. One photo captioned, "They hit me once, never again," showed a steel box that wrecked a truck. That was my spark. I grabbed a notebook and started planning. No more wood. No more screws. I'd build a monument, immovable, invincible, a trap disguised as a mailbox. Laura and Megan wanted war? They'd get one. 2 days later, I cleared my garage and got to work. Leather gloves on, I welded a 4-inch steel pipe, 6 feet long, have to be buried in concrete. I sourced materials from a salvage yard and a ranch supply store, where grizzled locals shared their own tales of mailbox smashers. One guy chuckled, "Want to break their bumper? Fill it with rebar, weld it tight, bury it in 200 pounds of concrete." I did exactly that. sparks flying as I sealed the pipe to a steel base, filled it with sand and rebar, and bolted on a deceptively normal-looking aluminum mailbox. At midnight, under a silver moon, I poured the concrete, digging deep, setting the base with precision. Sweat stung my eyes, but I whistled as I smoothed the final layer. By morning, it stood silent, solid, a predator in disguise. At 9 a.m., I saw them. Laura and Megan waddled out, their dresses a riot of blue tulips. Laura's purse bulged with snacks. Megan filmed everything, as usual. The Empress gleamed in their driveway. Megan squinted at my new mailbox. "He put up another one," she said, loud enough for me to hear. "It's hideous," Laura sneered. "Think it'll last a week." Megan laughed. "Try an hour," Laura replied, jingling her keys. I sipped my coffee by the window, pulse racing, pretending not to watch. The trap was set. They didn't strike that day, or the next. A week passed, and I wondered if they sensed the shift, if the mailbox's quiet menace spooked them. Then, at 6:42 a.m. on a Tuesday, I heard it, the Empress's engine roaring, tires screeching. I dropped my kettle and ran to the window. Laura, hunched like a mad racer, aimed the SUV at my mailbox. Megan screamed, "Phone up." The impact was apocalyptic, a crack, a metallic clang, and a shriek of steel. The Empress didn't bounce, it crumpled. The bumper folded, the hood buckled, the front tire blew. Steam hissed as the SUV shuddered to a stop on my lawn. Laura wailed, clutching her arm. Megan, limping, clung to her phone. Smoke curled skyward. My mailbox? Not a scratch. I stepped outside, filming. Laura stumbled from the driver's seat, her tulip dress torn, face twisted in pain. "You sabotaged us," she shrieked. "I put up a mailbox," I said, raising an eyebrow. "You made it metal." Megan spat. "That's illegal." "It's city approved," I replied, stepping closer. "I have permits." Laura's face reddened. "You'll pay for this." "You hit my property," I said, holding up my phone. "And wrecked your car." 10 minutes later, Officer Daniels arrived, the same cop who'd called it a civil matter. He watched my footage, lips twitching. "Looks like you drove into it," he told Laura. "He built it to cause damage," she screamed. "Mailboxes withstand accidents," Daniels said. "This one's legal." "You hit it intentionally." Laura deflated. Megan stammered. "He made us look stupid." "Not a crime," Daniels smirked. The real blow came hours later. I sent the video to their insurance, who denied their claimed $7,000 in damages, uncovered due to intentional collision. Megan posted a doctored clip online, painting me as the villain, but my unedited footage hit Reddit and exploded. Twins versus Mailbox King went viral, with 500,000 views in a day. Memes flooded in. Someone remixed it with techno beats. My mailbox became a legend. But Laura and Megan didn't quit. They went quiet, plotting. Then came the trash, soda cans, pickle jars, a torn garbage bag reeking on my porch. My cameras caught them sneaking over in floral bathrobes, Megan dragging trash, Laura whispering orders. The next morning, barbecue sauce oozed down my mailbox like a taunt. I cleaned it silently, then uploaded Twins Strike Again, the sauce saga. It trended, comments roasting their picnic table dresses. The neighborhood turned. Even their HOA allies avoided them. They escalated with a sticky note in my mailbox. "You'll regret this." I smiled. At the HOA meeting, armed with videos, screenshots, and neighbor testimonies, I laid out their crimes. Laura and Megan, in hideous orange dresses, scoffed. "He's framing us." Laura snapped. "It's your faces," I said calmly. The board fined them $500 a week until they stopped. Neighbors piled on. A teen said Laura bribed him to vandalize my house. A couple reported tire tracks in their garden. Code enforcement hit them with $2,000 in fines for property violations. Laura's insurance job suspended her after the video reached HR. Their GoFundMe, begging for $10,000, earned $12 half from snarky donations. The Empress, totaled, was towed away, a defeated beast. Laura paced their porch, hurling twigs and a half-eaten bagel at my yard. But they were broken. One morning, silence reignited, no yelling, no perfume, just birds and sprinklers. I touched my mailbox, cold and unyielding, and knew I'd won. Then I saw Megan across the street, watching, not with anger, but with a calculating glint. They'd never admit defeat. They'd fester, waiting for a way back. I nodded at her and walked inside. If they tried again, I'd be ready waiting.